Yay!
Yay!
This video will serve as an introduction to Microsoft Teams. Today we're going to be talking about logging in, creating your courses. We're going to take a brief Teams tour and learn where everything is and how things operate. And then we're going to be talking about basic decision making and the sort of things that you need to decide in order to set up your class successfully. So let's get started. I've navigated to the Campbell County Public Schools website. It's campbell.k12.tn.us. And from here, I'm going to scroll to the bottom and I'm going to click on to log into school email. It's the exact same link that you log into your email. You've just got to choose a different program than Microsoft Outlook once you get there. All right, and so once you've clicked on that link, you're going to see the sign in message that you need to enter your credentials into. So once you have logged in, instead of choosing the Outlook tab that you normally choose, you're going to come here to Teams and click that, and that will launch your Microsoft Teams account. All right, so I am in Ms. Browning's Teams account. I'm still awaiting mine from Central Office. So that's why this says AP US History on it and not blank. But I'm going to walk you through how to create your classes and your courses. But when you land on this landing page, you're going to see a card, and this is what's known as a card, for every single course that you have created and or team that you are a part of. So you're going to see both the things that are originated from you and then the things you've been added to from other folks in the network. So the first thing you want to do is to create your first course. Now you probably have the CCHS faculty on here if you haven't created a course yet, and maybe something else. But in order to create your own courses, you're going to come up here to the upper right hand corner and click that join or create team button. And once you do, you are going to see a couple of different cards here. Basically, this join team with a code means that you've been invited to participate in someone else's course or team. And so if you have a code, you can enter that. But for the purposes of your specific courses, you want to click on Create Team right here. So once you do that, you're going to be given some options. Since we are creating courses, you want to click on Class, and that will create a new team right here. Now, you are welcome to call your team courses anything you want. However, keep in mind that whatever you name this is going to be something that the student actually has to navigate. So if you put it in something crazy like Noodletown USA, chances are they're not going to know that this is your English course or your welding course or things like that. So name the course something that is representative of what you're actually teaching so that the students understand how to access it once it appears on their team's course. So I am going to name this test course simply because this is for purposes of training. And then a description, I'm just going to state that this is a course that is used for training purposes. Purposes. All right, so you can put anything in the description. You might want to introduce yourself and say, hi, my name is Carrie Eubanks, and I'm going to be walking you through all the amazing things about this class or something like that. Or you can just describe what the course is. That's really up to you. All right, now if you've already created other courses, you can click on this create a team using as an existing team. For example, if you have multiple preps of the same course and you've already got one class completely set up, at this point you can click here to pull that in from another course. But for purposes today, we're just going to completely set up a course from scratch. So I'm going to click next. All right, so the next step here is going to be to add people to your course. You do not have to do this right away, and honestly, if you don't have the course ready to go before the students are actually starting the class, I would recommend that you skip this for now. but you can add people based on their email addresses. I'm going to add, I just started typing in Ann, but you can see that it populates up, and if you misspell something, it doesn't show up. So you can add your students one by one based on their names. So once you get your student rosters and you have your course ready to go, then you can go back in and add folks. If you are co-teaching something, or if you just want to create maybe a course where you're collaborating with other folks in your department that doesn't have any students in, you can add teachers to the course, and that way they will have the same abilities that you do to add things, to collaborate, and to upload documents or assignments that you might want to copy over into your course. So you have all kinds of options. But for now, I'm going to skip this step and move on so we can see what the course looks like. All right, so once you are in, this is what your basic course will look like. Here on the left-hand side, you have one set of navigation tools, and these are known as channels. Channels are places where you can group the assignments and group the work all together. A lot of people choose to group their work by standards, by units, things like that. You have to add the channels in yourself because, you know, Microsoft doesn't know what it is you're doing or what you're teaching. But the first thing that comes up is this channel, and it's called General. The General channel is where you have access to everything in your course. So if you were going to be creating like a course map or something, and you wanted to know, like, see a combination of just everything you've added, all the files, all the discussions, everything, that can be found under General. And then once you decide how you want to put your course together, you can actually add channels over here by just clicking Add Channel. Once that comes up, you're going to name it. So let's call this Unit 1. If you want to do things by weeks, if you want to do things by standards, you can do that. But I'm just going to say Unit 1, Getting Started. Whoops. All right, if you want to add a description, you can do that. I'm just typing in, this is an intro to the course. Period. All right, and notice up here it says it doesn't support certain characters, so I'm going to have to get rid of that colon, and I'm just going to put a dash instead. So, all right, I can decide who can see it. If I wanted to do groups or anything like that, I could assign it to just a group of folks, but for now, we're going to keep it standard, and I'm going to click Automatically Show the Channel because I want everybody to see it. So once I've done that, my channel is there. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is under the General tab, you can see that there are a lot of things across the top here. Posts stands for discussion posts, things that people can respond to and interact with. Files stands for any files that you want the students to be able to view or upload. So if you've got PDFs, PowerPoint, Word documents, you're going to set them up to where the students can see them with the assignments, but they are also going to show up right here in the file folder as well. Like I said, this is where everything is housed. Class Notebook is an option that you have. It basically creates a schema for your course, and it will show the students ways to navigate, start at the top and then move through things. It can group assignments together. It can group resources together. It's a really, really great tool to be able to use, but it is a bit more complicated than setting up, say, channels. So when I speak about making decisions, I want you to think about whether or not you want to do channels versus courses, and I'll talk more about that in just a second. And then because I'm using a small screen, these aren't across the top, but you'll also have access to assignments, and you will have access to grades. So all of that is in your General channel. And then once you start separating out the work into individual channels like units or weeks or whatever you choose to do, you will see these here. You can click on them and it's going to be similar, but notice it doesn't have as many options across the top as your General channel does. Okay, so something I want you to think about as we are moving forward is what you want your course to look like. At this point, you need to decide whether you're going to go through with posting information in the channels or whether you're going to use the class notebook. If you feel really good about Microsoft Teams and you want to create a lot of tiered organization and have a lot of things laid out, I would suggest you use the class notebook. However, if you are like, okay, I feel like I'm in over my head, I'm having to do this online thing, I've never done it before, and you're just a little bit worried about moving forward with the class notebook, choose to use channels instead. The first few videos that I do in training are going to walk you through how to use channels to organize your class. That way, it's going to be the most simplified format. You can get everything entered into one thing. And then once you get the channel set up, if you choose to create a class notebook, you can still do that. But I don't want you to start creating a class notebook and then be like, whoa, this is too much and have to start all over again. So think about what you feel comfortable with, think about what you want to do, and then decide to either do channels, which are these little guys over here, or explore the class notebook, which is, it's not difficult, but it is a lot more layered and it does require additional work. So make that decision, and if you have any questions, let me know. Have a great afternoon.